Inference as a Service. I have a new group on Facebook called GPT-4ALL by Steve Hovland. GPT-4 is a free program that lets you run AI models on almost any PC or Mac. Executive Summary. Most AI workloads consist of inference, which occurs when a model generates answers for users. Companies like Groq and Cerebras provide fast inference at a low cost through specialized hardware. Both platforms host a variety of open-source models, which gives developers excellent flexibility. Unlike traditional providers, these services do not learn from your inputs. They process your information and delete it immediately, so your private data remains completely secure. Article. Artificial intelligence is changing the way we interact with technology. When people talk about AI, they often think about training. Training is the process where a computer learns from massive amounts of data. However, training is only the first step in the life of an AI model. Once a model is trained, it must put that knowledge to work. This second step is called inference. Inference happens when you ask an AI a question and it gives you an answer. Every time you ask a chatbot to write an essay, you use inference. Every time a phone unlocks using facial recognition, inference happens behind the scenes. Today, most of the total AI workload consists of inference. While training takes a long time, it only happens once per model version. In contrast, users run inference billions of times every single day. Because the demand for inference is exploding, companies need a cheap way to handle it. This need has created a new business model called Inference as a Service, IaaS. Instead of running models on their own computers, businesses rent computing power from specialized providers. This setup allows companies to deploy AI features quickly without buying expensive hardware. The shift from training to inference. To understand why IaaS matters, you must look at how AI uses energy and time. Training a large language model requires thousands of powerful chips. These chips run constantly for weeks or months. This process costs millions of dollars, so only a few tech giants can afford it. Once the training stops, the software enters the inference phase. The final AI model is like a digital brain that already contains knowledge. When a user sends a prompt, the model calculates the best response. Training phase. Aero computers learn from massive data. Happens once. Inference phase. Computers apply learned knowledge to user prompts. Happens constantly. One inference task uses a very small amount of computing power. However, the math changes when millions of people use the AI simultaneously. The total computing cost of these tiny requests quickly surpasses the original training cost. Tech experts calculate that inference accounts for over 80% of all AI workloads today. Therefore, hardware companies are shifting their focus from training chips to inference chips. The race for speed and low cost. In the world of inference, speed is the most important metric. When you type a message to an AI, you expect an immediate reply. If the system lags, your user experience suffers. Traditional computer chips often struggle to process modern AI models at high speeds. These older chips pass data back and forth between different memory compartments. This movement creates a traffic jam inside the hardware, which slows down the AI response. Two innovative companies are solving this speed problem. These companies are Groq and Cerebras. Both businesses provide specialized hardware that accelerates inference while lowering costs. Groq and the LPU. Groq invented a new type of processor called the Language Processing Unit, LPU. Standard chips handle many different types of computer tasks at once. In contrast, Groq designed the LPU specifically for sequential data like language. The LPU eliminates the internal traffic jams that slow down traditional chips. As a result, Groq can generate hundreds of words per second. This speed makes conversations with AI feel instantaneous. Cerebras and the wafer scale engine. Cerebras took a different engineering path to solve the same problem. Standard computer chips are small, so manufacturers cut dozens of them from a single silicon wafer. Cerebras builds one giant chip that takes up the entire wafer. They call this invention the wafer scale engine. Because the chip is so large, it keeps all the AI data on a single piece of silicon. The data never has to travel across slow cables or circuit boards. This design allows Cerebras to process inference requests at incredible speeds. Both companies offer their fast hardware through the cloud. Instead of buying an LPU or a wafer scale engine, you simply pay for the answers you receive. This cloud model drastically lowers the entry barrier for small startups. It allows tiny companies to compete with tech giants on speed and price. A variety of open models. Groq and Cerebras do not create their own secret AI models. Instead, they host a variety of open source models that other companies invented. Meta and Google frequently release their models to the public for free. Examples of these models include Llama and Gemma. When a model is open source, anyone can download its code. However, running that code effectively still requires immense computing power. Groq and Cerebras take these public models and load them onto their specialized chips. This setup gives developers tremendous flexibility. A programmer can test 5 different models on Groq's cloud in a single afternoon. If one model fails to answer correctly, the programmer can switch to another model with one line of code. This variety prevents companies from getting locked into a single software provider. It creates a healthy marketplace, where the best models win based on performance. Data privacy and security. Data privacy is a major concern for modern businesses. When a company uses traditional cloud AI providers, privacy risks increase. For example, OpenAI reserves the right to use your prompt data under certain conditions. They use these customer conversations to train future versions of ChatGPT. For a regular user, this data collection might seem harmless. For a hospital or a bank, this policy creates a massive legal hazard. A bank cannot risk leaking private financial records into a public AI model. If the AI learns from that sensitive data, it might accidentally reveal the secrets to a competitor later. Traditional consumer AI, Inference as a service, Groq/Cerebras, may retain data for training, processes data immediately without saving. Risk of leaking secrets. Mine private data remains completely private. Inference as a service providers solve this privacy issue through strict data policies. Companies like Groq and Cerebras do not learn from your data. They operate purely as a pipeline for calculation. When you send a prompt to their servers, the specialized chips process the math immediately. The system sends the answer back to your device, and then it deletes the interaction from its memory. The underlying AI model remains unchanged by your input. Your private data stays private because the provider never stores it or uses it for training. This security guarantee allows regulated industries to adopt AI technology safely. The future of the AI industry. The growth of IaaS signals a shift in the maturity of the AI industry. In the early days, researchers focused entirely on making models smarter through training. Now the industry must focus on making those models practical for daily use. Efficiency, speed, and privacy are the new frontiers of technology. As hardware improves, the cost of inference will continue to drop. Lower costs mean that developers can build more complex applications. We will soon see AI assistants that can listen, think, and speak in real time without lag. By providing fast infrastructure and protecting user privacy, IaaS companies are building the foundation for this next generation of software. Do you know that any private information you put into a cloud AI is used to train that AI? With local models, you can keep your private data private. Applications and models for local AI are available for free. You may be surprised at how powerful they are when loaded with your private data. I can help you set up a private AI on almost any PC or Mac. Contact me for a free consultation. I have published more than 700 blogs on AI in the past 3 years. If you get value from these blogs, please consider joining my Patreon as a member at the $2, $4, or $8 level.